name's Griffin Pickard and I'm the electrical manager here at the Bauer Electrical Workshop. The Bauer is an environmental organisation. We've existed in Sydney for over 20 years. The Bangar Community Shed is our newest of 4 locations. We work providing a space where people can donate goods and have them repaired, reused, and make sure that as little as possible goes to landfill. I actually started several years ago in film and TV, so I've done set design, and that's how I found the Bauer, because the Bauer has cheap and often really beautiful bits and pieces. We used to buy things there for film shoots, and I took the job there, and within about a year they asked me to take a managing role. As someone who'd worked around film and problem solving, they asked me if I could take on a repair capacity. 2 years later, here I am managing the workshop. I learnt my repair skills on the job. It's absolutely a learning process. Every single day I look up something new, I ask somebody new. I'm always relying on the volunteers I have here, who often have more experience. There's a lot that you can learn if you just know where to search.
Alright, what we got is an Electrolux planetary mixer. The light in there was flashing and it wasn't working. There were a couple of faulty components on the board. What we had to do was to replace a couple of components on the power supply and also on the control board. After doing all that, let's see if it works. And it works.
Our typical day at work is processing donations. So the Bauer takes a lot of donations from the community and from other organisations. So we process them, we fix them, and we make sure that they're free to resell, and they go through our programs, through our shops. They also go into our refugee programs and domestic violence programs that we have to make sure that people have access to good quality second-hand goods. We spend a lot of time repairing, cleaning, and whenever a customer comes in, we drop all our stuff and try and help them as best we can.
I've got a speaker, got Dre. There's a problem with the power supply, and yeah, I found one of the components inside had got a short circuit. They're quite busy at the moment, but they asked me to come back in 2 weeks' time. I try and recycle as much as I can. This actually broke about 2 years ago, but I couldn't throw it away. I love it too much.
I think it's really important to teach repair to the community. It's something that used to happen a lot and doesn't really happen in Australia in the same way. It's really important to make sure that people are going to maybe tackle it themselves. So the concept of the repair cafe that we run here is to give people confidence, to make sure that they're involved in it, even if it's just taking 1-2 screws out. The idea is to get them involved and also make sure that they have a responsibility of the things that they purchase. The Right to Repair movement is basically where we're taking the resources and the appliances and the items that we buy. I think, and we think, that the consumers should have a right to repair it, fix it, should have a right to all spare parts, and also a right to upgrade, because there's a lot of waste and resource waste, and it doesn't need to happen that way. I think we need to look into other ways, so people, instead of throwing that phone away every single year, maybe continue to use the outside of it, use the screen, use the battery, whatever, and replace just the parts that can be upgraded. I think that as items have become more complicated, they do more jobs, they have become more complicated. It's still doable. It's just about teaching and making sure that people are up to speed. And as components have become smaller, it also means that you may not have to throw the whole item out. You can still replace just a board or a couple of components. Even though they're more complicated, the repair is still possible. It just takes a little bit more time. The Bauer now kind of means everything to me. It's become not only a place of work, but also a livelihood. It's something that when I started, I was interested in these things, but now it really has become incredibly important, and it's also something that I didn't think I would spend my life doing, but I'm now looking into studying sustainability. I want to look into product design as well, because the amount of products that come in that are poorly designed, it frustrates me. And so the Bower is an incredible community, and it's full of all kinds of interesting people that come through the door all the time. There is definitely a bit of a family feel. I think that all the volunteers that come in either have got so much to share or have so much that they want to learn, and pairing those two groups of people up makes for a really interesting place. And I don't know, I'm just happy to be a part of it.